All right, y'all. So, figured I'd make a video this morning. Ain't nothing else to do. It's like 7 o'clock. Bored. So I figured I'd make an informative video. Uh, One that doesn't involve me raising hell or cussing about politics. So I'm up here in Zanesville, Ohio, uh, about an hour or so to the east of Columbus, and I'm up here because I'm starting a new job. I am going back to hot shot. Now, I'm making this video not for those of y'all who have already been into hot shot. I'm not making this video for the know-it-alls. I don't claim to know it all. I certainly, in the transportation industry, I will admit that the second you know everything is the second that you need to quit. I learn new things every day. I've been in and out of transportation for the last 15 years in some form or another. The only exception would be, I don't know, I really can't even say that. I was going to say the only exception would be the 3 years that I spent with the Department of Corrections down in Florida. But even on the side, I was making money driving a dump truck while I was working at the prison. So I guess it's fair to say that for the last 15 years, I've been in and out of transportation. First thing I want to say is if you decide to get into hot shot, you need to understand something. This is not you driving your daddy's boat trailer with your uncle's pickup. More than likely, you are engaged in interstate commerce. That means that you're going to have to get insurance. You're going to have a DOT authority to run into. If you want to work for yourself, which this is a great way to do it if you have the money, you're going to need a DOT number, MC 150, BOC3, IRP, and you just went, what's all that? Don't worry, it's not that complicated. You can go find somebody online that will be glad to give you all the information you want and file all your forms for a fee. Uh, to get my MC, my DOT, and my BOC3, KYU, which is Kentucky, I think I paid, I want to say I paid right at like $800 for mine. That didn't include insurance. So really, my DOT number's listed. You can look me up. You can look me up. 354-4994. It's my DOT number, but it's inactive. Why is it inactive? Oh, insurance. Oh yeah, that's a big one. Mm-hmm. Progressive wanted something like $37,000 from me. It's a lot of damn money. That is a whole lot of money. That's what they wanted from me. $37,000. I ain't got that kind of money laying around. Sorry, y'all, I don't. But luckily, there's other alternatives to this. You can go under somebody else's authority, as I did. Um, I'm up here because I'm fixing to go under another uh, carrier's authority. So that's where I'm at right now. That's why I'm up here in Zanesville, Ohio, freezing my ass off. Anyway, if you're going to get into this, let me give you a few pointers. Number one, most important, this is not a requirement by law. Get a commercial driver's license. Get one. I don't care if you go to truck driving school or, well, actually, new laws state, I believe the new laws have gone into effect where you pretty well have to. Now, I've had mine since 2006. I've had mine for 15 years. Um, but I highly recommend you go get yours. Don't go buy a truck and a trailer and you're going from an office job or flipping burgers thinking, oh, I'm going to go drive a truck. Then you fall into the category of last week I couldn't spell truck driver, now I is one. Don't be that guy. Please don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that thinks that I don't need to stop at scales. I don't need to run a logbook. What the hell do I need to run a logbook for? Don't be that guy. Don't. You're not driving your daddy's pickup truck, pulling a boat trailer. You're no different by law than a Peterbilt pulling a 53-foot reefer. You were no different. I consider hotshot. I consider hotshot trucking a plague and a blessing at the same time. It's a blessing because it's a way for people to get into being self-employed and making money. Helps people out, gets people started. People want to start trucking companies. My trucking company, old schooner transport. I am actually going to move up to where I can get some Class 8s on the road. Well, Class 8s are expensive. They're expensive to run. They're expensive to maintain. The IRP, which is the license plates, the apportioned plates, they're expensive. So, what do? I run hotshot because it was cheaper to get into. Now, it's a blessing on that front. It's a blessing to let people get to where they can make money on their own, break away from that boss they hate. Hey, we've all been there. Every one of us. We've had that boss that we're like, man, if you didn't sign my paycheck, I'd beat your ass in the parking lot. We've all had that. We've all had those thoughts in our head, right? Well, if you're your own boss, you ain't got to worry about beating your boss's ass in the parking lot because you're the boss. We've all had those thoughts. So, how do we handle this? Well, we go ahead and get in the hot shot because I've seen some people doing it on online and on YouTube and on Facebook, and maybe I've seen them run up and down the interstate. And it looks pretty fun. I think, you know what? I like to drive. I think I could just go ahead and buy me a pickup truck. And, oh, you know what? I don't even need a CDL. Oh, man. Oh, this is sweet. Is it really? This is why it's important to have a commercial driver's license. You need to understand the rules of the road. You need to understand logbooks. You need to understand hours of service regulations. You, if you don't understand hours of service, you're done. No, you cannot just go to sleep back at the truck, get a hotel room, wake up, drive whenever you feel like it, and drive as long as you feel like it. No, you cannot. It ain't gonna happen. Hours of service. I know them quite well. I can quote it. You cannot drive more than 11 hours after a 10-hour break. You cannot drive past your 14th hour of being on duty without a 10-hour break. No, you cannot drive more than 70 hours, or I'm sorry, past your 70th hour of being on duty in an 8-day time period. You can restart that with a 34-hour reset, or you can run on recaps, which means after the 7th day, you start getting hours back from the previous 7 days previous. You will start getting your hours back. You may not drive more than 8 hours without a 30-minute break. The rule actually was changed. It used to be within your first 8 hours of being on duty, you've had to take a 30-minute break. Now the rules have changed. You can actually do your 30-minute break on duty. But, and there's other little provisions in there that I didn't talk about, such as splitting your 30-minute break and splitting sleep and birth time. But let me tell you, let me gear this for the hot shot stuff. You got a bone stock 4-door F-350. Do you have a legal DOT sleeper on it? No, you do not. Well, how do you legally sleep? Well, you're not going to log line 2 on your log. You're not going to log sleeper berth on your logbook. I'm sorry. I'm used to line 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is the old paper log standard. We don't do paper logs anymore. Um, you're going to log off duty. Line 1 for you old guys. You're going to log line 1. You're not going to log line 2 because you don't have a DOT approved sleeper. It's as simple as that. That also means that the sleeper berth provisions that I didn't mention, 7-3 split, 8-2 split, doesn't apply to you. So there's no use in me talking about it because you can't log sleeper berth. You can't split off duty time. That means that you need to take a full on 10-hour break across the board. Done. Now you can go get DOT approved sleepers. Cowtown makes some. There's several others out there, but Cowtown I think is the big one. I think they're in the Carolinas. Could be wrong. I've never dealt with them, and they're not paying me for any advertisement or have anything to do here. I'm just mentioning them as an aftermarket sleeper attachment if you chose to go that route. And you may choose to go that route. If you choose to go that route, go. Um, the other thing is you are, again, just like that Peterbilt. Now, you can get pre-pass and put it in a hotshot truck. Well, Anthony, what's pre-pass? Pre-pass is a transponder that you put on your windshield. If you're driving under a scale, you'll see that arm that hangs down over the interstate like this. Most states have them. In fact, I believe Georgia is the only one that does not. I'm fixing to show y'all what pre-pass looks like. Pre-pass. Little transponder sits on your windshield. You got three lights on the bottom: red, green, and yellow. I'll explain that in a minute. When you go past the scale, that pre-pass more than likely is going to go off, whether the scale's open or closed. Oh, by the way, that will track when you go by that scale. That's the other thing about pre-pass. So don't think you're going to manipulate your logbook. More on that later. But you go by a scale and flashes green. Beep, 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 beep. Keep trucking, driving. You ain't got to stop. Flashes yellow, flashes red. Pull in and follow instructions as provided. They'll either tell you to pull in and hit the bypass and go around and get right back on the interstate and keep going. Or they'll pull you in, put you over the scales. Or they may pull you on around and tell you to get a level 1 DOT inspection. It does not matter. Pre-pass is going to tell you. By the way, for hotshots, this is especially for ICs like me. This is a great way to do it. Pre-pass also is involved in the toll program too. So the only state I can think of they don't have on their um, pre-pass easy pass extended network would be Louisiana Go Pass. And really, unless you're going over Lake Pontchartrain or you're going over the Sunshine Bridge, don't even worry about it. And unless you're hauling out in all fields, you ain't going over the Sunshine Bridge, and you can get around. You can get around the causeway. Anyway, I think most every other state they participate in. I could be wrong. Somebody knows, leave a comment. Tell me I'm wrong. And I might be. Um, but I do know that they don't, I know for a fact they do not participate in Go Pass in Louisiana. But all the Northeast, Florida, Sun Pass, Easy Pass, I Pass, uh, Ohio Turnpike, Pennsylvania Turnpike, everything on the Easy Pass network and everything that Sun Pass uses, they'll participate, and they have more. I think they do Kansas. I think they do. I think they do Oklahoma. I know they do California, and there's others. Not a bad way to go. I would rather have one transponder on my windshield than to have five. With one transponder, that means it's taking up that much of a footprint. Put it right there. I do what it says, otherwise, I ain't got a whole bunch of crap blocking my view, so I'm safe on the road. Just my opinion. All right, now that we've covered pre pass, scale houses, Logbooks. Let's talk about this for y'all that don't want to go get your CDL. Let's talk about weight. If you don't have a CDL, you better not be over 26,000. Period. That's not 26,000 in cargo. That's 26,000 gross combination weight, truck, trailer, and cargo. 26,000. That's it. If you don't, you're pretty well screwed. Aha. But there's more. With a tractor trailer combination, it's pretty well set up. DOT tells you 12,000 on your steers, 34 on your drives, 34 on your trailer tandems. There's, you know, other little things that'll get around that. Spread axles 40. You got an APU that adds 500 on your steers. Whatever. 80,000 gross. Okay. And that's with 5 axles, no permits, whatever. Anyway, that's the pretty well the standard on all semis. But it is not the standard. There is no standard on hot shots. Why is there no standard on hot shots? Because you can have a 3/4 ton truck or a 1 ton or bigger. You drive an F-250, an F-350, 450, 550, 650, whatever. For hot shots. I wouldn't suggest a 150 or 250, but my preference. I wouldn't suggest a 350 with single rear wheels either. But again, that's just me talking. Um, how much can you drive? How much can you pull with that? The answer is easy to find out. Number one, you know the specs of your trailer. Number two, you know the specs of your truck. How much weight can you put on the front axle? How much weight can you put on the rear axle? How much weight will your trailer hold? Your tongue weight. What are you pulling with? Are you pulling with a bumper? I hope not. I really hope you. I hope you're not going to get in here thinking you're going to bump and pull a trailer with 10,000, 12,000 pounds of cargo on it. You're going to rip your bumper off. I really hope that you got a gooseneck or fifth wheel. Fifth wheel, gooseneck, either one is acceptable. Most people run gooseneck. I like running gooseneck just because, it's pretty well there. Ain't going anywhere. Fifth wheel ain't bad either. But I like a gooseneck because it gives me a little bit more room in the bed to stow stuff. Extra chains, binders, whatever. As long as I keep it clear to where the gooseneck can swing, I'm good. And I take care to do that. But anyway, more on that in a minute. What is the manufacturer rating of your truck? That's what you need to know. And let me give you another piece of advice. Take your truck and trailer, find out what your gross empty weight is. You can find this out for a grand total of about $12. Go to any truck stop, pull on the cat scale. The cat scales are divided. Make sure your front axle is on the front piece of concrete there, and it's divided up. You see where the lines are. Now, it's set up for a 5-axle semi, but it'll work to tell you what your gross weight is. If you keep it separate, it'll pretty well tell you what it is. Find out what your gross axle is. It's simple. Any cat scale you can do this to. Cat scales are found at any truck stop, Love's, Flying J, Pilot, Petro, TA, even the mom and pop truck stops have cat scales. Now you know what you're legal at. You know how much weight to put where. You know your manufacturer specs. Once you get a load, your first load, scale it. You don't like where it's at? You don't like the way it rides? Bring it back. I need y'all to rework this load if you don't mind. Most of them work with you because they want you to get your cargo or their cargo that you're hauling. They want it to get to the destination safe. I've got no shame in asking a shipper to rework my load. I don't like the way this is riding, man. You mind sliding it forward or sliding it back? Personally, I'll tell you right now, my trailer, I pull a 48-foot gooseneck. I keep as much weight as I can on the axles of the trailer. Just because I don't like the way it rides when it's up front. I don't like it. But I also make sure to distribute my weight to where it's not all on the axles. I also don't want it all on the tongue either. It's called knowing your equipment. It's not something that you're going to know overnight. Every truck is different. When I started out in Hot Shot, I was pulling a 2019 GMC Denali 3500 dually and a 48-foot trailer. Now I'm up here in Ohio. I'm fixing to pick up a 2018 Dodge Ram 3500 and pulling a 48-foot trailer. The trailer is going to pull the same. It's the same make, model, whatever. As long as everything on it has been taken care of, and I'll inspect it when I go pick it up. But I know that truck's going to be different than that Denali was. What the difference is, I don't know. And I won't know until I go and start driving it. Maybe I'll give you an update on it. I can tell you that Denali I didn't like. But whatever. Uh, maybe I like the Dodge better. And again, I better like it considering I'm paying $50,000 for the damn thing. But I digress. All right, know your weight limits. Let's see. Sorry, I had a list of things I was working with to go over. All right, other thing I want to talk about into pulling hot shot. You're a semi. I don't care that you don't have a CDL. I don't care that you're pulling a 2500 and a 30-foot trailer. You are a CDL, excuse me, a CMV, a commercial motor vehicle. Your vehicle is used for interstate commerce. Your vehicle weighs more than your average Dodge Ram 2500 driving down the road. You're pulling weight. Truck lane restrictions. Guess what? That applies to you. You're on a run. You're coming from Knoxville to Tampa. You're on I-75 South. You right there, just about Marietta, Georgia, fixing to come to Atlanta. You better get on 285. Don't go through Atlanta. Trucks ain't allowed. Now, my personal vehicle, I'll go right through Atlanta to get to where I need to go. Actually, I try to avoid Atlanta altogether, but personal vehicle, if I have to, I'll go right through Atlanta. You cannot in a hot shot. You take the 285 loop. I know 285 sucks. We all know 285 sucks. You find a driver out here that says they love 285, I'll find you a liar. We all hate the 285. You better take it. And you better stay out of the left lane, too. You're not any different than that Peterbilt. Some states, Arkansas is one of them. Texas, well, I don't think Texas does it anymore. But Arkansas's got a truck speed limit now. Um, let's see. California, most definitely. I tell you what, we'll talk about California. You better do 55-mile-an-hour in California. That's it. Don't think you keep up with everybody else running 70. You better do 55. Don't get on I-5 thinking you can fly. CHP, nail your ass and have no problem doing it. Knock on wood, I ain't never got a ticket in California. But I don't run stupid either. I don't have a need to run wide open. Besides that, me personally, yeah, it burns time, but I save fuel. But to avoid it altogether, I just don't go to California unless I really need to. I already live on the Gulf Coast. I don't need to vacation on the West Coast. Um, Arkansas had just now opened up a 75-mile-an-hour speed limit across I-40. Truck speed is still 70. You are a truck. You're just like that Kenworth W9. You better do 70. It's just the way it is, people. Truck restricted lanes, truck speed limits, and no trucks permitted applies to you. You see a road that says no trucks, don't take your hot shot down there. Please don't. Please don't. Which segues me into another thing here. Go buy a truck or GPS. Yeah, I know they're some of them can be quite pricey, but get one and please, for the love of God, make sure it's updated. Go get one that's going to show you everything, show you the truck restricted routes, and set it for a truck. Don't set it for a car. Make sure you tell it that you pull in a trailer. I always set mine up just as if I was driving a 53-foot trailer in a semi. It's going to tell you, you can't go down this road. It's going to tell you that. And my advice to you is listen to it. Yeah, GPSs sometimes can be flawed, but the likelihood of a truck or GPS keeping you out of trouble, this iPhone, totally unacceptable to use as a GPS. More people have gotten in trouble using their iPhones as a GPS than I care to count. Don't do it. Yeah, I know they got a great map program on here. It is great if you're in a car. Don't do it. Free trips. Oh, yeah, here's a big one. You're driving from 4 to 750 miles a day. It ain't nothing to us truck drivers. Free trips are a good thing to do when you're driving between 4 and 700 miles a day. Sorry if y'all see me shaking this up, but if you're a southern boy like me, that stuff works. I'm just gonna tell you, just a little bonus tip. Some of y'all know that you have to log a pre-trip, and you do that on your logbook. Some of you think that, oh, well, 3 minute pre-trip is good. You honestly think that you're gonna check all your lights? Well, first off, let's talk about a pre-trip. What are you checking? What's the purpose of a pre-trip? Pre-trip's to make sure your truck's safe to drive, right? As I understand it. So the first thing you're gonna look at is the general condition of your vehicle. Anything hanging out from underneath it. You pick up any debris on the road. Anything's hanging off of it. Did somebody hit you during the night while you was asleep? Hey, Swift drivers are out there, straight up. Um, Walk around, make sure your mirrors are there, make sure your lights are there, make sure your lights are functional. What I do is, when I start my pre-trip, my headlights, tail lights, tag lights, and my four ways are on, and I'm checking it all, making sure it all works. Normally, if your four ways will work, your turn signals will work. Normally, unless you got a very badly wired truck, I check it out. Check the load. Make sure it's strapped down properly, tarped down properly, chained down properly. Insert your own as appropriate. Make sure pop the hood. Check the belts. Check the hoses. They in good condition. The belt's cracked. My hose is leaking. My hoses look dry rotted. Cause me problems later. My heater working, especially it's wintertime, man. Better make sure the defroster's working. Yeah. Do I have fluid in my windshield washer fluid? Why is that important? Well, it's wintertime. I'd kind of like to make sure if I'm going down the road and I just so happen to get behind a snowplow and it's throwing stuff on my windshield, I can clean it off so I can keep going. Nothing wrong with keeping a few extra gallons windshield washer on the truck. Doesn't hurt a thing. Um, Make sure everything's your oil's good, train's good, coolant. Make sure that's good. Again, it's wintertime. You know, check your tire pressure. Get out there with your gauge. Get a good gauge. Get one of these El Cheapos. Get a good one. Get one that getting there in between the butted tires. Check them. Make sure you good. Make sure you got all the safety equipment you're supposed to have, which, you don't need to check this every day, but it's not a bad idea to check periodically. Make sure your fire extinguisher's there. Make sure it's good. Make sure it's got proper date on it. Make sure it's within date. Make sure it's legal. You got flares, make sure they're in date. Whatever you have, make sure you got it. You got triangles, you got all your safety emergency equipment that you're supposed to have by DOT law. Make sure you've got everything. Do a thorough pre-trip. Now, for some of y'all that are logging 3-minute, 5-minute pre-trips, think you can check all that in 3 to 5 minutes? If I'm doing a complete thorough pre-trip, it takes me about 15 minutes, and that's not in a semi. That's in a hot shot. I'm a 15-minute guy anyway, just because I'm used to the old paper log system. So when I do stuff like that, I do it in 15-minute increments, just because I'm used to that. 7.5-minute post-trip inspection. Now, it may not take me 7 minutes, or it may take me 10 minutes, depending on what I've got. It may take me longer. I've had post-trip inspections take me 20 minutes because my load, I just didn't like the way it looked. I didn't like the way the straps were. So I unstrapped every one of them straps and I restrapped the whole damn thing. That was when I was starting out, when I was still learning. I was a van and reaper driver for a while now. I'm learning flatbed. I'm not an expert flatbedder by any means, but I'll certainly go in there and I'll make sure I check my load. Here's the other thing: you pull into the Flying J or Pilot, get some fuel. While your truck's fueling, what is it hurting you to walk, check your straps, check your chains? What does it cost you to do that? A few steps on your Fitbit's all it does. Go back there, you pull them straps, check them chains, make sure you got nothing hanging over. I've done that and I've caught straps that were popped. You know, they popped out like that instead of being flush like that. I've caught them. If your if your straps are open like that, that's an unsecured load. You may not even have that. You may as well not even have that strap there. You may as well take it off and throw it on the highway. Because that's about how good it's doing you. You go and you make sure they're secure. Make sure they're properly locked. Simple as that. What's it costing you to walk back there, check it off, pull on them, tug on them, make sure your corner protectors hadn't fallen off. You got some edge protectors up there. Make sure they ain't falling off. Make sure your strap ain't getting cut by the load. Make sure your strap's not cutting into the load. What does it cost you to do that? Answer: nothing. What does it cost you if your load falls off and kills a family of 4? You want me to show you? It's going to cost you, and I'm going to put my former hat on here. Some asshole like me telling you what to do for about the next 10, 12 years. I'm going to tell you, behind the gate, I'm a real asshole. Those that worked with me and the inmates under my charge can all testify to that. And I by far wasn't even the worst one. So go check your damn straps. Aside from the fact that you can go to prison, is it worth killing somebody? Something to take literally 30 seconds out of your busy day. You got to restrap it, throw an add a strap or adjust a strap. Okay, maybe 2, 3 minutes. I would say that's not an unreasonable request. check your damn load. Don't get out here and be stupid and kill somebody and wind up going to prison because I might find myself out of a job driving and you might run into me in prison. Never know. Life's funny that way. Be safe. Be professional. Know the rules. If you don't have the little green book, and I don't have one with me, I'll go pick one up and have it in the truck before I ride. But it's a good idea to have 3 books in your truck, and all 3 of them you can pick up at a truck stop. They're about $5, $6 a piece. Don't just have them in the truck. Read the damn things. One is CFR 49. That's your rules of the road. Keep it in the truck. J.J. Keller makes all 3 of these books I'm fixing to tell you, and they're sold in every truck stop in America. Green book, the red book, the yellow book. The red book deals with hazmat. Okay, so yes, with flatbed, we really don't haul a whole lot of hazmat. Go get the book, keep it in there, because your knowledge of what's in that book may save a life. The yellow book, which also goes with the red book, is your emergency response guidebook. I believe the latest edition was 2020. I think the next one comes out in 2024. Go get it. I think it come out every 2 or 4 years with a new one. I think 4 years. Go get it. DOT says we're required to carry those anyway. Go buy the damn book, go read it. There is nothing in this industry that you can learn that's wasted knowledge. There's bad knowledge and there's bad information and there's bad advice out there. Certainly. No shortage of that anywhere. But I want to talk about there's 3 kinds of drivers. Okay. Amateurs, semi professionals, professionals. Okay. Amateurs are the ones that don't, you know, they don't care if they put people's lives in danger or not. And this is how I classify commercial drivers. I don't call all commercial drivers professional drivers. And not all professional drivers are commercial drivers either. I like to think of myself as a professional driver. I strive toward that every day. Amateurs are the ones that don't care. They're going to get out here. They're going to cause accidents. They're going to have unsafe equipment on the road. They're going to put your life in danger. They're going to put my life in danger. They're going to make my insurance rates go up. They're going to make the DOT look at every one of us the same and say, he's a hot shot. He's doing something illegal. Let me pull him in. They cause that. That's the amateurs. Semi pros. They're the ones that know the rules. Maybe they don't know all the rules, but they're willing to learn. Maybe they're new. Maybe they're starting out. They're thirsting for knowledge and they're going online and they're seeing these people in the Facebook groups and people on I don't know if Yahoo still has groups or not, but wherever, people making videos on YouTube telling them, you can run this and, you ain't got to worry about having a deleted truck. And, I got 10 all over my windshield and, I don't stop at scales and the hell I need to, no, Those are the ones that are trying to figure out if those are the real guys or people like me making videos to try to help you or telling you the truth. I ain't telling you to believe everything I say. I'm telling you to do your own research and pay attention to what makes the most sense. Hopefully, I'm making sense to you. Then you have the professionals, which is what I strive to be. I see a driver out there helping, having trouble. I'm gonna try to help him best I can. There's been many times. I don't care if it's as simple as backing into a parking spot. And I've had drivers help me. I might have an off day, or it's been a long day, or it's just been a day to where I just can't. My mind's just like ugh, because it's just been one of those days, and I'm just trying to back it into the whole truck stop. And I just can't get it. Hey driver, hang on, do this. We all do it. Don't be the guy sitting there going, "Ee." Don't do that. Go help your driver. Educate the new people. That's the reason I'm doing this, to educate you. I'm not doing this to put you down. I know you're new. I want to see you do something. I want to see you make something in this because it certainly can be made. You certainly can do something in this. This ain't a bad gig to get into. I rather like it. I enjoy it. But I want to help you do it right. And I want you to do it right. I want you to be legal. That's why I'm doing this. That's a professional driver. Professional drivers don't know everything. Amateurs know everything. And what I mean by that, by amateurs know everything, is they don't want to listen to somebody like me. Give you a prime example of an amateur driver. A friend of mine moved from Pensacola, Florida, up to Atlanta. He met this hotshot driver. They got in good. Now, and my friend likes to go on. I'm not going to call him out by name, but he likes to go on road trips. Hell, me and him, about 10 or so years ago, me and him said to hell with it. We left out of, I left out of South Mississippi, picked him up in Pensacola, and we hauled ass to New York just for the hell of it. Went up to New York City just because we suddenly felt the need to. That's how much he likes a road trip. So he, starts running with him and hangs out. They get to Oklahoma City, and the truck catches fire. Now he was driving an older F-350 with a 7.3 in it. I got a feeling I know why that truck caught fire. It was probably leaking fuel. I'm assuming probably from the lift pump, got into the valley. Well, once that engine valley fills up, there ain't no place but where for that diesel fuel to go, but back towards your up pipe for your turbo. That's pretty hot. Next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. Anyway, well, this particular guy wanted me to, because he knew I had a F-350, knew I knew hot shot, wanted me to take his truck from OKC, take his load from OKC out to California. I started asking him about paperwork. You don't need to worry about paperwork. You need to drive. You could have the best looking truck out there. You can have everything right. You know what'll ding your ass in a heartbeat? Paper. Paper. You know how to do a straight bill of lading. You know what a straight bill of lading is. Do you know what originate paperwork is? If you're pulling, say, cars, you gotta have a certificate of origin. This guy, this particular cargo he was pulling was boat trailers. Well, he didn't have a title for them, but he needed a certificate of origin at least. Otherwise, how do they know it's not stolen? Makes sense to me, right? This paperwork will sink your ass every time, real quick. Sink you real quick. Sink you faster than the Edmund Fitzgerald in a heartbeat. Better have it, and it better be right. How about your permits? New York cut sticker, KYU. Better have all that paperwork. Insurance. Insurance is a big one. Registration. Have valid registration. That's a big one. IFTA, IRP, all that. You need to have all this. And there's more. There's I haven't even touched on all the paperwork. And there's probably quite a few I'm not mentioning right now because quite simply I can't think of it. Maybe when I get my permit book, when I pick up my truck, I'll go through it and show y'all what y'all are supposed to have. I think I'm going to do that. Because a lot of people starting out don't understand how important paperwork really is and how much trouble you can get into if you ain't got it right. Y'all want to get started in this? It's a fun career. It sucks there's days it sucks. You know, there's days I'm sure it's coming, especially this time of year. I don't really want to tarp this time of year, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to, and that's gonna be my idea of a sucky day. I've had to tarp in the wind. That's a sucky day. It happens. I fell off a trailer and broke my arm. That was a sucky day. But I've had some excellent days doing this too. I've reaped a lot of good benefits from this job. You've got to understand, just like anything else, it's good and bad. It's up to you to figure it out what you want to do. Make sure you do it right. Make sure you have all your paperwork in order. Make sure you got your load secure. Make sure your equipment is safe. That's going to stand you apart from everybody else. If you're already doing this job, help out a fellow driver. When I started in 2006, drivers still somewhat stuck together. I don't see a whole lot of that anymore. It saddens me. It actually breaks my heart. Drivers stick together. All you have. I don't care about your dispatch. I don't care about your carrier owner. I don't care about that because they're probably, 5, 10, you know, hundreds of thousands of miles away. But you know who's right there? Your brother truck driver. Your brother driver is in a parking spot right next to you. Hopefully he believes as I do in the brotherhood that exists out here on the road. Not everybody can do what we do. Not everybody is cut out to, come hundreds of thousands of miles from home for weeks at a time. It takes a pretty strong man and woman to do that. Yes, ladies, I'm calling you out as well and saying good job. Tip my hat to you. Don't think I'm forgetting the ladies when I say brotherhood. Brother and sisterhood. We all in this together. All you got is that driver right next to you. They may be able to help you if you got a problem. Hey, driver, does this look right to you? It just don't. Something don't look right. That driver comes out there and gets. Well, you know what? You're right. It don't look right. You need to do this, 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 and this. Oh, okay. Thank you. That's the brotherhood. Now, my advice to you, if he does that, hey, at least offer the guy a cup of coffee, buy his breakfast, something. That's what I mean about us sticking together. There's been times out there me running hot shot. I couldn't get my tarps right. Just I don't know what I was doing wrong. About my first three tarp loads, I just did not know what was going on. I just could not get it right. And then one day, and I mean, when I say couldn't get it right, I'm going out there about stopping about every, few miles to tighten this up, tighten this up, tighten this up, moving bungee cords around. Well, I'm coming through Pennsylvania one day when what was I at? I-80. This driver, flatbedder, me and him got to talking. And I mentioned that mentioned my problem to him. Hey, I'm still trying to figure it out, whatever. He goes, well, you know what? Let's go see what I can find something to pick on. He looked at me. He goes, oh, no, 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 no. I know exactly what you did. You did this wrong. You know what? Listening to him was the smartest damn thing I ever did because I got everything right at that point. The way he taught me to tarp is the way I tarp still. And he showed me a trick, and I use it to this day. I cannot remember that driver's name, but I hope to God he sees this video, and I'm saying thank you. That's how drivers help drivers. Be that driver. Y'all be safe on the